There it
I
is.
got to do the clap again. I clapped too soon. All right. What's up, everybody? This is the Mortgage Coach 10X Tuesday interview. Every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Pacific, I'm interviewing someone amazing. Every once in a while, I do a Tuesday takeover and can't make it. But 95% of the time, it's me and someone amazing. A lot of times it's top producing loan officers. Today, it's someone that was a top producing loan officer and one of the OG mortgage coach influencers. I've interviewed Khai more times than I can remember, but he always had some of the most creative, some of the most valuable ways of using Mortgage Coach. But today he's one of the mortgage industry's top coaches. He coaches a lot of top producers. He coaches a lot of loan officers that want to become top producers. And then helps people optimize, how to really scale with a team. I've always been impressed with just how thoughtful you are, Khai, in building systems to help mortgage professionals scale in any market. So welcome, brother.
It's good to be back again. It has been a long time. I want to say 18 years. Although a lot of people here are probably saying, isn't he that far off from 18 himself? Time changes, time goes. I'm just still trying to stay young.
Yeah, well, you do a good job, man. And what's the next event you're traveling to, by the way? When am I going to see you in the real world again?
Most likely momentum builder next week. We'll see.
Most likely. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the way, guys, I'm going to be at Momentum Builder. If you have not got a ticket yet, get a ticket. Like going into spring home buying season, it's going to be incredible content from the stage as well as great networking. And Khai will be there. I feel confident about it.
Don't let Don and Gino know.
All
I'll
right.
be
All right. So let's you picked this headline. I said, hey, what do you want to talk about? And you said knowing and selling your value. And you've got a a conversation to be had. Why'd you pick that headline, and what are we going to cover today?
Well, I realized in coaching people that there's a lot of tools today, right? I mean, we have Mortgage Coach, there's Lender Launchpad, there's all these different tools.
You can say other tools. You can say MBS
there's
Highway. It's all good.
MBS Highway. There's everything. I'm thinking about tools that people use for marketing, right? And we've got Bonzo, we've got everything else, and it's great, right? We have all these tools to be value-driven loan officers, data-driven loan officers, their sales boomerang, and everything else. And I think what's happening is that people kind of don't know where to start or which tool they use for this. And I think that everybody is like overwhelmed and obsessed with tools and things, right? And so it doesn't create any focus or any priority. And I think I want to help people sift through that, because I see people attend calls like this all the time, and they buy the products, and then what's worse is that they'll do a couple of the tools and then they'll stop and they'll do something else. And I wanted to help people really sift through that, because the reality is that I think that people are too obsessed with things and tools as if that's what creates value, right? So somebody does a really cool Instagram video and everybody says, oh, let's do that Instagram video, or let's do that TikTok trend, or let's do that thing. And so everybody's running around chasing tools and chasing posts and chasing things. And there's no focus, there's no structure, and worse, there's no sense of identity. And then what happens too, and I think this is what can happen to some people, and it can scare them. It's like, what if you come and you bring value because you're a Mortgage Coach user, but then that realtor is approached by somebody else who's also a Mortgage Coach user, right? So now you're being compared, like, well, you both use you're like, why use Mortgage Coach? And like, well, somebody else uses Mortgage Coach too. So I think what's happening is we're creating our own identities just by all the stuff that we have and all the stuff that we deliver, instead of truly understanding like what your value is, what you need to focus on, and create an identity around that. And that really helps center people. And so the question that I always ask people, and I like this lively chat, is, and we can start with, we have consumers and we have real estate agents. Yep. You're going to ask a question?
Well, yeah. One thing I wanted to insert right here, because I think, when you as a mortgage advisor really create a deep why and a piece of technology powers your unique, authentic value proposition, Not only do you win really big, but you actually adopt the technology in a pretty profound way. Like the
Right.
difference between good loan officers and great, like the best, it's usually consistency.
Right.
They have these tools, they have these processes that create consumer value, and they do it every time, because they're just so clear on their why, they're so clear on their value proposition. So, anyways, love the direction, love the conversation.
So the analogy that I use is like you can't buy style, right? You can't go into
Mhm.
a store, buy a bunch of name brand clothes and say, look, I'm like a stylish person. I think that you have a style and then you buy clothes that reflect your style. Okay. And so I think it's really important that people figure out what their brand is, what their value is, and then pick the tools. More importantly, pick the things of the tools that reflect that, because then it gives you direction and it makes you more authentic. So we've got a pretty lively chat. And when I think of value, there's value to consumers and then there's value to real estate agents. I'm actually going to start with real estate agents, with realtors. And so my question is, I'm just going to put this in the chat, is what value do you bring to realtors, right? So if I were to look at every single person here and you were to talk to a real estate agent and say, use me as a lender, what is the value that you bring to realtors? What do you do? And if people can go ahead and put that in chat. But I can tell you a
Yeah.
lot of the
So,
answers.
so real quick. So, two things. One, there's a number of people watching this live in Facebook.
Yep.
Please put it in chat. There's going to be the biggest audience that are watching the video of this on our YouTube channel. Put that in chat. And guys, we've got over 116 people and no one has put it in chat yet. So like let it out. Like give us a tweet. What
Yeah.
value do you bring? And Jesse Prince, love it. Creating confidence for all involved. Anyways, back to you, Kai. But
Do
guys,
you remember Wheel of
let's
Do you
fill up
remember
this
Wheel of
thread.
Fortune? Do you remember Wheel of Fortune when at the end Pat Sajak says, "I'm going to let you choose 5 letters in a vowel," and then after a while, everybody started to figure out that RSTLNE was like what everybody would choose. And so then after a while, he said, "You know what? We're going to change Wheel of Fortune. Those are going to be like the default 6 letters, and you have to pick letters that are different than that." So you can't say education, and you can't say closing on time, right? Or I pick up the phone, because that's going to be common answers with everybody, right? But what value sets you apart? Okay, what value sets you apart? And I think this is a key one too, because when I ask people, and I'm starting to see some of the answers, everything from creating confidence, personalized service, communication, helping them win more business. I think the thing that I see is first things that people don't know. And then when I ask them, they might say a word or so, but nothing that I see generally is very compelling, right? So that's the word, compelling. Are you are you a compelling person that realtors want to work with? Okay. So outside of the box, I like that answer because it's a little bit different, but how compelling is that? In other words, what does that mean to a real estate agent? Okay. And that's what I want to help people with is I want people to know their value, but I want to help people um, sell their value as well. So I actually have a list here.
Hey,
I
real
see.
quick, Kai, one
Yep.
more thing. Another thing I'm noticing by a lot of the answers is that there are things that people would need to experience over the course of multiple conversations. They're not things that are just boom, like,
Like the
you
elevator
meet
pitch,
with
the 30-second.
someone, you say some things, you show some things, and people are like, holy shit, I trust this person. Oh my God, this is the smartest person I ever talked to. There are things that you would have to have talked to someone
Mhm.
multiple times. And, so I just want to call that out as not a weakness, but an opportunity. So
No, and
back
we're
to
all
you.
here to learn, right? Like, I don't really care if there's right or wrong answers. This isn't like guess the right answer. I want to hear what you think now. So Ashwani put, I'm here to effortlessly meet your needs and remove any obstacles in your path, whether it's securing competitive financing for your clients or navigating intricate mortgage processes. Count on me to provide tailored solutions that streamline transactions and exceed expectations. I like that. It's definitely thought out. Okay. Sometimes I see answers that can also be very either too simple or too wordy, right? So I want to help people out with that because let's take a look at what some of the choices were. So got this little slide here is that, again, I said, I think that people value things too much. And so I sat there and I actually wrote down a list and I encourage everybody to do this. before you think about what your 30-second pitch is or what you're going to communicate, okay, is what are actual value adds that you can do, right? So I wrote down 10 strong value adds for originators to say, hey, if you work with me as an agent, these are the things that I do for you or we do together. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to provide expert mortgage services, which is like closing on time, great rates to your clients, good customer service, etc. So this is like the bar. Okay. So you can't start there. And I think education even goes there. Anything that pertains to the client. Everything from here below is going to be what we call value adds. So we can help them increase their referrals. We can help them with lead management and follow-up because realtors aren't very great with that sometimes. Like they don't have a CRM system, and a lot of lenders can use follow-up bots and with your real estate agents. We can help them implement post-close marketing strategies. I know Dan Keller is a big proponent of that. We can help them do webinars and events, do collaborative social media. You see realtors and lenders do TikToks and IGs all the time. In a competitive bidding market, which we're pretty much always going to be in now because of low inventory, we can help them win their offers in a very competitive market, right? Be the first one that people pick. We can help them enhance their listing presentations. That's like a big lender launchpad angle. It's like, let me help listing agents win because right now all listing agents are buyers agents. And then we can offer what I call other comprehensive business support and motivation. This is just like being their partner, accountability, sounding board, motivation, helping them with time management, reading books, things like that. And this is kind of a cool one that would resonate with like a Denise Donahue, is helping them adapt to changing markets. How do we sell to a Gen Z and a millennial and a boomer and a Gen X? And are we doing reverse? Are we doing mortgages, regular mortgages, et cetera? So write down your list, and then, write down your list first before we just think of words. And the funny thing is that as I write down this list, there's probably people here going, what? I didn't know about 4 or 5 of those. Okay. So if you watch a lot of these episodes, there's really a ton of things we can do for real estate agents. Okay. But again, if I were to show everybody this list, then it starts to get overwhelming. It's like, well, okay, well, we're going to do all these things and that's what we do. And then we're going to rattle off what we do. So to make it simpler for people, and that's what I want to help people with today, values fall into these 5
Hey,
categories.
real quick, can we go
Yep.
back one more
Go
time?
back. Yep.
Yep. And one other point, like, I mean, I love them all. I do think number 3, and I often use the word optimize a lot just because I always think there's another level,
Yeah.
and well, there is, and master kind of implies that there's a destination, like, hey, once you master it, we got it. But, and I also think anyone listening to this, there's an argument to almost break that in 2, because if you can be a conversion partner to a realtor and have that be more than words, but literally like something that's just obvious, like you refer a lead to me and, 1, they're more likely to convert, and 2, they're going to be a better customer to you. So I just want to make the point that that's, from my perspective, if not the best of the 3. And then I also want to remind everybody, there's a lot of ways to say these things, like that's one line item, but
Yep.
there's a lot of ways that a loan officer could put their unique authenticity around that one bullet point and tell it 3 to 5 different ways and then repeat it over time. So anyways, I just wanted to call that one out. By the way, everyone listening to this, if you've got a favorite one of these value adds, first of all, we had over 20 people share, why they're valuable to realtors. So thank you for everyone that shared. But if you have a favorite here, of these value adds, the Khai McBride value adds, let us know what your favorite
Yeah. So
one is.
put in the chat what your 3 favorites are out of this list. Okay.
All
What
right.
your 3 favorites are out of this list. I'd like to see it. Right. So let me just,
Yeah.
I always do this, right? 3 favorites. What are they? Okay. So,
Hey, Khai, could you copy that real quick and just put that so that people have it? Put that in chat. So, guys, you've got Khai McBride's. Chris Brooks already said number.
These are the 10. There should be bullets with that.
We got to make those numbers, bro.
Yeah. Okay, let me do this again.
Yeah, we're having a workshop here,
Oh,
guys.
here we go. Okay. You're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these are some choices. There we go. So
All
what are
right.
like your three favorites out of this list, if you can see it in the chat? Okay, 2, 3, and 9. So I'm going to use Dave. Dave, because you're the first one. So facilitate increased referrals, master lead management, and then offer comprehensive business support. So I want to make it easy for everybody because this is what it's about. See, as a coach, sometimes I don't always want to give new ideas. I just want to take ideas that we already have and make it easier, right? So Dave, how often have we talked about things, and how often have we talked about value adds during the show? And all of these value adds really fall into 5 categories with your real estate agents. Okay. You're either helping a realtor grow, convert, scale, perform better, or support. Okay. And these categories are important because they help define sort of what you stand for and direction. And Dave, like you, I think conversion is like the hottest one. Okay. Conversion is the hottest one. But there's also distinctions between them, because if you think about it, this is sort of like the path, right? Well, first you grow your business and then you convert, then you get better at converting your business, and then you get to the point where you scale, and then you look at your own performance. So performance would be time management, accountability, motivation, energy, et cetera. And then support is everything else that we have to do, especially today, like video editing, technology, data conversion. Sometimes it's just bringing the water for open houses. Support can also land in anything that has to do with closing and client support, right? Some could say performance is first, some say it's last, but it's pretty much growth, conversion, scaling in that order. And I say that because here's the thing, is that we go after different agents. And typically a lower producing agent, a newer producing agent, is going to want some more support on growth, right? A middle producing agent who's got some leads, if we help them convert better, they would become a better agent. And agents that have a lot of production are always looking at, how do I scale my business a little bit more? Or how do I continue? Scaling is not just growing, but scaling can also be, I do a lot of production, but I work too many hours. So how do I scale back hours while I keep my production up? And I think everybody here needs performance and support. And so when you look at it in categories like this, then not only can you determine where you're really going to focus with real estate agents, but it allows you to focus on certain real estate agents a little bit more, or to filter through real estate agents. And then it also really helps you create focus and articulate. So I'm going to go back to you, Dave, because you said 2, 3, and 9. If I were to look at a real estate agent, I would say, don't think of me as a vendor. I'm a realtor-centric lender that focuses on helping realtors like yourself convert more and give you any support that you need to make that happen, whether it's video editing or help you set up your, help you set up your processes or anything like that. Okay. Let's see. Jeff said 3, 4, and 7, which would be lead management. That's 3, 4. Let me pick somebody with a different one. 10, 7, and 6. So adapt to changing markets, assisting, and the listing presentations. Same with you, Brett. I help my agents grow by helping them convert more. So what converting more means to me is that if you're a buyer's agent, I'm going to help you convert your buyers with better presentations, especially like if they're VA. I'm going to use my mortgage TCAs to show them that we're the best choice to bring you more clients. I'll get you more referrals to convert that as well too. From a listing side, I can help you win more presentations. And then I will give you just overall support in anything that you need. I'll be your confidant, your lending partner. I will grow with you. We will learn together. Okay. Some realtors, and so I'm just going off of your answers, but you can mix and match this up. My goal as a lending partner, a realtor-centric lending partner, is to help you grow more and convert more of the business that you grow. And so what I do for growth is I'll do things like collaborative social media with you, collaborative webinars with you. And then for conversion, I've got tools that will help you win more offers, get more referrals, get more online reviews, And so it really just simplifies your conversation. It simplifies your focus. And so here's the thing. If like Dave, who was the first one to answer, if 2, 3, and 9 are your favorites, then go to town with conversion, right? Like think to yourself, how can I help realtors convert in many different ways? And what I love about conversion as well too, it conversion is probably my favorite because the thing about growth is that when you, I mean, I'm not telling people not to do growth. I'm just telling you why I like conversion a little bit better. Is because conversion assumes that there's already opportunity with the realtor. And because what we're not trying to do is we're not trying to work with a lot of realtors that don't have business, for example, right? But if there's already opportunity and I can help them maximize that opportunity, that's also helping them grow. But then I also know that I'm working with a realtor that has business. The other thing about conversion is conversion tends to have the quickest results and the quickest ROI. Here's the thing about value. I'm going to write this in chat and we can talk about it. But value, there's a formula for value. So value is the value itself. Okay. There's a formula for it. Okay. I'm just going to write this in chat.
Hey, well, hey, real quick, while you're writing that, first of all, guys, keep the comments, keep the interaction going. It's great.
I'll put it here on the
You
big
know,
slide.
another thing that I love about, conversion is it truly is the score of value. Like the loan officers that give the most value, they they have the highest conversion. They are the most efficient and more effective. Again, I'm just going to keep listing it off. Most loan officers, most realtors, they don't put the type of emphasis around it. So it's often one of the least focused on things. Like most loan officers and realtors don't even measure it. And so, so one, it makes you unique. Two, it is the score of value. And then three, as a salesperson at pretty much anything you sell, the best way to give yourself a raise is to improve your conversion. Like that's you don't have to go ask for a raise. You just need to improve your conversion. If you do that, you make more money per hour.
Yeah. You want to be like, when I hear that, sales is a numbers game, it to me, it really sends the wrong message because it tells me that you're selling something mediocre. And if I sell it enough, then somebody's going to say yes, right? If we want to do more sales, we have to increase our value because we want to have a higher conversion percentage for ourselves. And so if we're out there with very basic tools and we just say, I'm going to sell with education and service, you're selling a very basic tool to try to win a lot of business. And that would be like if Dave, if you and I got into a ski race and I'm using rental skis and you've got like these fancy skis in this outfit, I mean, besides your ability, right? Assuming that we're the same skier, you're going to make it down, the mountain faster, or a rental yacht or whatever it is, right? And so I feel like everybody is out there, they start in the business and nobody gives them a lot of direction. So what they do is they say, oh, well, this is what everybody else is doing. I'm going to grab this set of rental skis too, and I'm going to compete with that. And they tell me, you know what? It's a numbers game. Just call your realtors 50 every Monday and just pound the phones and just keep at it. You got to work hard. You got to hit your numbers and everything's a numbers game. But you're kind of selling a mediocre product, right? Or when I say people are obsessed with things, that's like renting the Lambo or renting the Porsche, right? So it's not really you, you're just renting it. And so you're just doing a bunch of things. And so I think that we need to improve our value first because your value has to be so compelling that people would be stupid not to choose you. People would be stupid not to choose you. And so this is the question that I ask everybody is, and I'm going to raise my hand. And Dave, I mean, you're a salesman too. Despite being a CEO of a lot of things, you're a salesman. That's what you do. But I'm
Oh,
going to raise
yeah.
my hand because I say, listen, how many people at some point in time have had call reluctance or meeting reluctance or felt that they're going to turn down? Every single person, right? And I want to help people with that. Here's what happens and how we develop call reluctance. And it's because we don't have enough value. Is at some point in time, early on in our career, we went and we sold what I call rented goods, right? What everybody else said, sold a mediocre product. And we tried to sell it and we said, hey, realtor, use me. They said no. We asked another realtor, hey, use me. They said no. After a few times people say no, they get PTSD. It's like, I don't want to ask realtors anymore. So then we attend mortgage coach stuff and we learn all these things that you have to add value, you have to add value. And so then what we do is we come out and we add all this value and we do all these things, but then we forget to ask for business because now we're afraid to ask for business. So it's like that hard sell versus soft sell. I think everybody thinks like hard selling is it's all about your words. You don't have to have value. So what I do instead is I do a bunch of soft value. I give all this value and I don't need to ask for business. Okay. Well, that's not how it works. You always have to ask for business. There is no soft sell. You always have to ask for business. Okay. This is the concept that I want everybody to know. You will only know your value when you ask the market. You will only know your value when you ask the market. So think about it this way, Dave, when do we determine the value of somebody's home? When do we determine the value of somebody's home? You can think your home is worth something, but the value of the house is not determined until it's put up on the market, there's bidding for it, when it sells, and how it appraises. Okay. So you don't have any value until you test it against the market. And so what should happen is Dave, your realtor, and I'd say, hey, I'd like to do business with you. I close loans. And you say, nope. I say, okay. So I'm going to approach you again, or I'm going to approach another realtor and I'm say, okay, let me add more to that. I will help you close loans and I will help you close more consumers. And you're like, no, I got another realtor that does that. All right. But it knows okay because it's telling me what I'm worth. I'm not worth enough. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to say, okay, I can close loans. I can help you convert more realtors and I'll help you grow your business through social media. And you're like, okay, now I'm thinking about it. And then you come back and you keep going until the value is enough. And so you have to ask for business and you have to get the no's because you have to get the feedback whether you're providing something of value and the market's going to tell you. And if you get a no, don't go back and just learn how to sell it in a different way. Go back, be that advisor-driven, data-driven loan officer that's going to bring tools and bring value to your consumers and to your realtor partners and stack it. But then once you learn to stack it, like I said, we get into that problem of like, I'm going to list so many things, but then you can categorize it into the 5 categories here, which is it's
Hey,
either.
by the way, the word value stack just came into my mind. I mean, you said stack value, but we talk about what's your tech stack,
Yep.
and everybody can
All
list it.
that.
Oh, I use this CRM, I use Mortgage Coach, I know my tech stack. Guys, what is your value stack? And then Kai made a really good point. I mean, sometimes you need to stack the value. I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and then guys, write this down. Tailor. You may talk to one realtor, and when he talked about, well, hey, I can help you actually go from being busy on social media to actually getting leads and getting business on social media. That could just be the home run with one realtor, and that could be the no thank you to 2 or 3 realtors. So, and I also want to put under value stack. Every one of those value points, you need to know how to teach it. Like it's one thing to have it, but it's like, do you have a teach track to all of your
Right.
value tracks, or to
Mhm.
all your your value props? Which like list them, and then are you a master at teaching people how you create improved conversion with first-time home buyers? And by the way, if I was to tell a high-end realtor, hey, let me show you how to kill it with first-time home buyers, they'd be like, oh, all my people are like move-up buyers. So I want to tailor around, hey, do you want me to show you how I can create urgency and improve conversion with all the listings that you go on where the homeowner has, a 2 or 3 or 4% mortgage? Now it's like, oh, you know, for some people, that's going to have real draw and real pull.
When I learn how to script, what I do is instead of trying to think of sentences, like if I were to look at somebody and say, what's your elevator speech? And people try to think of like sentences, I just think about keywords. So I think about 2 or 3 keywords that represent my value, and then I can just expand on that. So if I had 30 seconds to talk to an agent, I would say, well, my number one focus as a realtor-centric lending partner is I help you grow, convert better, and scale your business. And then from there, I can expand, right? Because that elevator door might open and they may walk away, but they just heard the 3 key words. But if they have a little bit more time, I can say, let me tell you what that means. Let me tell you what that means to grow. Let me tell you what that means to convert better. And let me tell you what that means to scale better. So it makes it easier.
And
Now,
and also, have a teach, but have stories so that you're
right.
you're telling stories around how you helped people in all those different areas. I just love that guy.
And then there's also how you can get deeper value into the stack. And so that's what I was saying. One of the reasons why I like convert is that there's 4 conditions for very deep value too. So you can say, I'm going to help you, let's say, convert more winning offers, right? Now we're going to look, okay, this is what people think about when it comes to value. You can say that, but then they're going to ask this question. Okay, how often does it happen? Like, is it really possible? Okay. Am I going to see value fast? And is it going to be easy? Right. Um, I was watching one of Dan Keller's videos, and he's good at this because he'll say something like, I help all of my realtors increase their production by 3 extra transactions a year. As a matter of fact, as I was looking at my books last year, I helped 37 realtors do that. So by making that statement, making that testimonial statement, he's saying it's entirely possible. Or you'll hear Scott Nicholson say, when I do this presentation technique, I'm 16 out of 17 winning the first offer on my last 17 offers. And so you're telling people that it's possible. Okay. Anytime you also get somebody a fast result, it's better value. And so the analogy is, Dave, if I said to you, I can increase your business by $240,000 by the end of the year, that's a good value proposition. But if I said, Dave, I can help you increase your referrals by $20,000 this month, right? The faster value you're going to lean toward. And so what I like about conversion is that typically you're working with people that have business. And if you can help them convert, they're going to realize your value faster. And then you're going to become an indispensable partner. And so even though I like growth, growth has a longer turn time because you're going to help a real estate agent, let's say, do social media. You're going to help them, do webinars and all that stuff. But if it has a longer turn time, they're not going to see the value as fast. And then you're still in that kind of, you're still in that danger zone. And then finally, is it easy? And so they want to know that they don't have to do a lot of work. Okay. One of the things that one of my clients did was he would interview agents and he would say, you know what, I really love your social media brand. I want to help you grow your reach and grow your audience a little bit more. Let's do some collaborative social media. I'd like to interview you. Let's put out some content. How about we do this Thursday? And then after I interview you, I'll record it. I'll go ahead and cut up the pieces for you, and I'll deliver anywhere from 5 to 10, 30-second clips for you to post on social media. So he's making it really easy for them. And he's also utilizing the support value because he's helping somebody grow, but he's like, look, I'm also going to do the video editing and put it together for you with the music and the captions and everything else. And so when you create your value stack, if you can go deeper and you can show them that it's highly possible or highly probable that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast, and you don't have to do a lot of work, okay, then that's going to be more valuable to them as well. And so just using these key points, when you really look at this, look at your business and say, where am I providing value, and am I providing enough value? And every time I've been rejected by somebody, you're not getting rejected as a person, your offer is being rejected. Okay, what you're offering somebody is being rejected. And so you have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, let me actually write down all the things that I offer. And, I think we're getting into definitely a new age, Dave. I was talking to somebody the other day, and this is where the times are getting really competitive. I was talking to somebody who said, I see a lot of these things that you're coaching, Khai, but I'm a really old school person. I like to talk to people in person, and I don't know about this tool here and this mortgage coach and this technology and this thing. And I said, I totally feel you. I mean, I get what you're saying. And you know what? There's a time that I could do push-ups and sit-ups, I could be in shape. But that's when I was in my 20s. But the fact is that as times go by and as I've gotten older, I need a little bit more than that, right? I need to look at my nutrition. I need to look at my sleep. I need to look at my supplements. I need to do more than just push-ups and sit-ups. I might have to do Pilates and yoga now just to make myself more flexible. And so, the value stack, just like our tech stack, has gotten more complicated because I don't think you can just bring basics to the table. And, those words are thrown out a lot, like go back to basics, but I also don't want to be basic in my value. I want to have much higher value. And so people can't be, and people that are here attending any trust engine event, I think they're beyond basics anyways, but you have to be able to embrace that because that's what the competition is doing. I mean, many lenders are out there coming out firing right now with all different value stacks, and maybe not every lender, because I know the bar is low, but there's still that person in your market that is taking all the business, and you're wondering why, and they're providing some type of massive value, you know?
Hey, hey, Kai, what I'd love to do, we're a little past halftime, so
Mhm.
we're in the third quarter. This is a football game. We're, 5 minutes into the third quarter. I want to play a little 50-second clip from an interview I did with Shay Jenkins. I don't know if you know Shay, but she's a top producer in the Denver market. Um, and I interviewed her, and this little clip is going to really call out how she showed up as a mortgage coach with a realtor. But I almost like, let's play the game film and then let's you and I break it down. Like,
Yep.
what did she do? And also just try to bring this as a strategy for everyone watching this. So let's check out this little 50-second clip and then talk about it.
I was going after this huge, one of the top agents in Denver. And I had been trying since I was an assistant, I had been trying to get this person. And finally, the poor girl gave me gave me a break and was like, Lord, like, here you go, take this one lead. And I took the lead and I did a mortgage coach. And I was just like, you know what, why not? I'm going to CC the agent on here. And then that's when the agent picked up the call and she's like, are you serious? This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, what, mortgage coach? And I was like, you're the top agent. You've never seen this before? And she's like, absolutely not. She's like, this is amazing. She's like, would you be able to do this with all my buyers? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that's so cool. And again, in her head, I think she was thinking, I'm up all night creating this massive presentation with all these numbers and graphs. And I got her business and she's one of my top agents now.
So I have some definite thoughts as to why I want to bring it up right now in the conversation we're having, but I'll let you go first and just breaking it down, or any takeaways you have from hearing that.
Yeah, I'm going to take a step back. Is that even though we have competition, like I said, the bar is really, really low. I did this presentation and somebody had brought a real estate agent, and I put that list of 10 on the board. And I said, his name was Baggio. I said, Baggio, how many of these 10 things do lenders offer you? He was like, maybe the first two. I've never seen anything past 4, right? And so the bar is really the bar is low, and it's what's funny is that a lot of times I think because we're all friends in the industry, we make assumption that everybody has these tools, but when you look at the big population, Jay's thinking, oh, everybody's got mortgage coach, but that's the first time that she's ever heard it, right? And so we don't have to do the complete value stack. If we pick a few, we're already above everybody else. And she came hard with that one piece value. And here's the thing too, if she was successful with that, how many more agents would be impressed with just that one thing? Instead of trying to switch it up switch it up every week, just keep using that one play. It's like basketball. If I'm beating somebody with a high pick and roll, I'm going to keep doing it until they stop, and then I'm going to add something else. That's my take.
Well, I had two thoughts. So first of all, it's an awesome success story. She used customer experience and having the realtor experience that to communicate her value. And the agent intuitively is like, oh, that's valuable for my consumer. I'm sure the agent knew that, hey, that's going to create more conversion. But I also occurred to me that she said, I've been reaching out to this agent for years. So, and the agent finally did give her business. So I thought, like, so she's had multiple conversations with the agent, and it took kind of like old school persistence. I'll bet she could have started getting business from that agent a year earlier if she would have been able to teach the agent, hey, I'm different. I'm going to do blank, blank, and blank. Like, my takeaway was, Shay, you could have got that realtor a year earlier if like she was literally listening to this workshop, coming up with compelling value stack, and then communicating that earlier in the process. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I had this saying, that I want everybody to remember is that everybody has a price. It's just that what you're offering, the price isn't high enough, you know? And I use this joke, I use this joke. I use the realtor analogy, but I always say this joke. I said, you know what, if you approach if you approach somebody, if you ask, if I were to ask a girl out and I'm not really her type, I'm not good looking enough, she's going to say no. So if I come back and I say, okay, well, now I'm fit, she'll say no. I come back and say, well, now I'm fit and I dress well. She says no. I say, okay, well, now I'm fit, I dress well, and I made a lot of money last year. I'll think about it. Right? It's just like eventually somebody has a price. Well, now I'm fit, I dress well, I make a lot of money. By the way, did you see me in that Oscar-winning performance? You know what? You're fascinating to me. Obviously, it's a joke because I'm not trying to say that all women are attracted by money and fame, but my point is that the price isn't high enough, and we see it all the time. And I agree with you. I mean, I wasn't really looking at critiquing her, but the reality is that if she's pushing an agent over and over and over and over again, yes, persistency works. And Dan Keller actually talks about that. One of his agents is like, just still persistency will beat no persistency. But to me, that's the same thing as always ask for business, always ask for business. What I would have changed with her is I would have said, every time you come back, instead of offering the same thing, keep upping your value. It would have been sooner. It definitely would have been sooner, because everybody has a price. You just had to figure out what the price is. And if you don't know the price, then ask the agent what the price is. Ask them, say, what would it take for us to work together? Or what are you looking for in a lender? Okay. Or what do you love about your lender? And sometimes, and I don't know if anybody's done this. This seems very basic, but when I ask a lot of people, it seems like people haven't done this yet. But there are realtors that you already work with, that you're friends with. Sit down and ask them, say, what do you value the most? What are you looking to do in your business? What are you looking to do in your business that you need help with? Or what are your goals, especially in the beginning of the year? What are your goals for 2024? Jeremy Forcier has a good interview. If you haven't done it, everybody should be doing some type of business planning interview or business planning event with all your agents, or at least a year in review recap. And I know Jeremy likes to ask this question. Tell me last year what worked really well. Tell me what didn't work really well, and tell me what you wanted to do last year, but you didn't do. And how does that change for this year? And it'll give you some direction and value. And all of those things will, again, fall into the one category. And so no matter what they say, you can regurgitate it back to them. And you say, so what I heard you say was, I would have loved to have made more of an impact on what I heard you say was, I would have loved to have made, more of an impact on social media. And so you wanted to grow your business by doing a different channel and reaching out to different audiences. That's one of the things that I like to focus on, is I like to help realtors grow their business too, not just to work on their files. Don't think of me as just a vendor. Okay. I want to see you grow and convert more when you work with me. And no, I agree with you, but that's what happens when people don't think about their value. They just think it's a numbers game. And so they're going to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And you really want to do both. You really want to do both at the end of the day. Right. And I'm hoping this helps people, because it's just that there's so many things. What I'd rather see people do is pick the thing that resonates with them best. Okay. And I can tell you this too. A lot of it is your personality. Because of this list, I'm going to tell you the three that I like. I like conversion, scaling, and support. Okay. Because for me, conversion is, there's always ways we can do things better. So I don't have to think of something new, like in this growth area. I can just think of, there's always ways we can do something better. How do we win that next offer? How do we win that next client? How do we get better conversion in social media? And so if you listen to Deb a lot, I think everybody in social media is obsessed with growing their content and growing their followers and growing their likes. But that doesn't mean that you convert anything off social media. And so when you listen to Deb, she talks about how you engage and how you DM and how you convert social media. So you can look at somebody and say, you have a really great social media following, but what's your conversion on social media? Let me help you convert more. I like scaling because I'm a process guy. And I'm one of the few people that really, really focus on people's performance in terms of time management, personal performance, physical performance, focus. I mean, how many realtors, how many lenders here have an issue with discipline, have an issue with focus. And I hear this all the time, Kai, like I'm super ADD. How do I get around that? And so I find that sometimes with clients of mine that I'm coaching, it's like they're really good loan officers and they know everything about value, but they just can't string together a good day of productivity. And if I help them with that, it just shoots their production through the roof. Or I've got really talented loan officers, but it's just little things that are stopping them. Like they don't have a video editor. And then I show them how to find a video editor on Fiverr, or they just need help with a little bit of script. And so it's support. Sometimes sometimes it's just technology. And you have to realize that we're getting into this age now where a lot of realtors can just use your help with like technology help and scripting help and how to put together an Eventbrite or how to do the Zoom. There was a time that we used to do live presentations and live lunch and learns, but now we're moving to Zoom. And so a lot of people are intimidated. How do I run a Zoom webinar, and how do we get people to interact, and how do we record, and how do we do all these things? And so that sits in the support function of value. There's really a lot when you think about it. And I think, again, when you look at these 5 categories, you can go a lot deeper because everybody picks 2 things. But if you really had to think of 3 to 5 things in each category, then you're going to have 15 to 25 things of value, and then you can present it, and it'll allow you to go like deep really quickly with your agents.
So Kai, we just entered the 4th quarter, of this conversation. We've had someone ask for your slides. Are you willing to share your slides with everyone? Is that a yes?
Yes. And I'm going to do something that, yeah.
So we'll put a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link down below to a Google Doc of Kai's slides. We'll get those for you guys. And then, I'm super passionate about helping producing branch managers. We created the trustengine.com 10x page for producing branch managers. And I would push every branch manager this meeting, think of this as a sales meeting, like for you to really help your loan officers create an awesome value stack that aligns with their market, aligns with their brand, make sure they have, and just think of 3, what are 3 really powerful value propositions that are not commodities, they're unique value propositions. I would do a workshop on this, as a branch manager, I'd watch this, I would take notes on this, I would then use this to help augment a branch manager sales meeting. And the time of the year is perfect because, we're a matter of, spring home buying season is coming, but it's not here. So like, let's really get great value stack with all of our loan officers, ourselves included. So I would push y'all to do that. So Kai, knowing that we're in the 4th quarter and knowing all the things you want to make sure people get from this, where do you want to go?
I'm going to show you a couple other ones, which I can give people as
well. But by the way, guys, give us a little reaction. I see a number of hearts, but, how good has this call been so far? Has this been one of the best? Oh yeah, here we go. We got the love coming. People are digging what is happening here.
I created a document as well too. This is like the longer version. This is the original document that I sent out to my clients, but 10 ways to add exceptional value to real estate agents, right?
You're going to share this with us, or are you just teasing
absolutely.
us?
I'm going to share it with you. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I sat back and I said, okay, well, there's a document here for, what happened here? I'm in the wrong place. Here we go. Then I added one, enhancing your value as a loan officer to clients, right? So financial education, create a finance solution, integrating their mortgage with their overall financial health. So like holistic training, streamlined and easy process, assisting competitive markets, serving market niches. So I sat back and I said, what are all the different values and what categories do they fall into? And so with consumers, it's a little different. The categories for consumers is education, creative financing, holistic financial health, the process itself, assisting in the market niches.
Time out. Financial health. Give me some leadership, because we've now got almost 100 first home IQ ambassadors. I think it's 93 as of yesterday. Any thoughts on how, like we talk all the time about mortgage coaches, trust engine mortgage coaches, conversion, but a first home IQ ambassador who's, out providing financial literacy in their local markets. Any suggestions on how they might turn that into a value, put that in the value stack?
That's in the growth value stack because you're growing awareness. You're growing through awareness and education. And so I use, so you could say, I help, I partner with realtors or to assist them in growing their business. I've got this Home IQ program, which creates awareness in the community for home buying and building wealth. And that's also something that you can stack working with like financial planners, financial professionals as well too, because they have an interest in helping their consumers. So when you look at, for example, financial planners, they're helping consumers through the life cycle, right? Everything from somebody just got married, they're going to buy their first home, they're going to have their first kid, then they're going to move up, and then their kids are going to go to college, then they're going to move down, they have to do retirement. And that's also a generational thing too, as well, because you've got people, your Gen Z and your millennials are going to be more first-time home buyers, your Gen X and your boomers are going to be down. But anyways, it's all in that portfolio of raising awareness and growth, I think. But it's also conversion, right? Because we're out there, a lot of people are out there doing very basic presentations, but if you demonstrate that you have this program, you have this cause, you have this educational, you're going to be seen more. And so here's the thing about value too. We think about sales versus marketing, and delivering value and demonstrating value, you're really marketing yourself. I think that when you have less tools to market yourself, you have to sell more, right? So you always have to ask for the business, but I always feel like you have to sell more when you have less value versus when you have a lot of value. Okay, you don't have to sell as much. You're definitely going to ask for the business, but it's like it's going to sell itself. And so I have something called like the begging line. So if the line's right in the middle, you have the authority on top, and then you have the begging line down below. And I think that the higher you are above the line, it's because you're educating, you're showing content, you have a program, you're raising awareness, and you're the authority line. That's why I'm a big fan of doing classes, because it raises your authority, it raises your credibility, and then people are going to look to you and want to do business with you. For me, when you don't have a lot of tools, sales without tools is begging by nature. And so you need to reverse that. And so if you ever feel like you're just begging, if you ever feel like, hey, I'm going to set up a coffee appointment with you, and I'm pretty much just going to ask you a bunch of generic questions and tell you that, I'll do whatever you want, and, I'll close on time, and et cetera, you're pretty much begging for business. But when you have classes, they're coming to watch you. You've established yourself as an authority figure of education, and then you can call them and then ask them for one-on-one appointments. And so that's what value does for you as well. I created
Hey,
some more.
I want to answer a question. Michael Rode just put in chat, and I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. Kai, if you don't mind, just give me a minute. He said, sometimes people, including myself, are afraid to be successful. It requires keeping more balls in the air for longer to be consistent. Some people are just trying to go from 2 loans per month to 4 loans per month, not trying to get to 50 million or 100 million. And here's my answer, Michael, or here's a thought for you to consider. First of all, that begging line versus trusted authority line, like that is where you can go from 2 loans to as many loans as you want. Again, obviously someone that's closing, 50 million, 100 million, they are doing a lot. They're delegating a lot. There's a lot that goes into that. But I would make the case that almost every loan officer that's in the struggle bus, or let's just say you're 50% of your goals, really look at where are you at on that begging line. Are you a transactional loan officer begging for business? I'm going to share a couple slides, because this is the year that it was actually a year or two before this picture. I went from begging, I was a fee worksheet loan officer, I went from here to here, and I was pretty much just, I got great rates, I got great service, I can close quickly, I feel, but when I got really serious about, what, my advice makes a difference. And that was not just some bullshit line. Like I could say that, And then within a matter of minutes and a couple questions, I wouldn't be a loan officer beggar. I'd be a mortgage coach. I mean, that was really the founding story of Mortgage Coach, was to not be transactional, and not be begging for loans, but like literally tangible value. And hey, CPA, do you want to, refer your loan officers and they get this? Or do you want to refer them to a advisor, a mortgage coach, and get this? So, my answer, Michael, lots of times it's just looking at your value prop, upgrading your value prop. And I love that metaphor that Khai had with the begging line. I thought it was a perfect answer. Anything you want to add to that, Khai?
Yeah, my answer is that doing 100 million versus, let's say, doing 4 loans doesn't decrease your need to increase your value. Because people that do 100 million, it's more than just value. I mean, they put a lot of hard work in, they build a team, they do a lot of things. But even to do 2 to 4 loans a month, you still need a lot of value. Like, here's my analogy. I don't need 20 girlfriends, I need one girlfriend, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot easier to get one right girlfriend if I was Brad Pitt. Does that make sense? Because Brad Pitt has a lot of value. Okay. Brad Pitt doesn't have, I mean, Brad Pitt can still choose one person. He doesn't have to have 20 girlfriends, but it's a lot easier being Brad Pitt. So you want to be like the Brad Pitt of loan officers, have a lot of value, even if you're looking just for that one perfect real estate partner to do 4 loans a month, right? And so that doesn't decrease the need to provide value. And I just wanted, I wanted to continue to show this for those of you that are like branch managers and branch leaders. What is your value stack for recruiting top talent, right? So I wrote this down too. Okay. So these are the things that I look at it. It's like, yeah, well, there's products and processing systems, but they want mentorship. Nowadays, they want coaching, comprehensive market support, realtor support. They want you to help them grow their business, a technology stack. Are they forward thinking and flexible so that you don't feel like it's like a compliance engine and everybody's always going to say no? Is there a culture of growth? And do you have high producing colleagues? You know why I know this? Because as a coach, I have every conversation with somebody that says, I'm thinking about switching companies, and I always ask them what they're looking for. And it's one of these 10 things. And if you're a branch manager and you're trying to grow your business, you haven't thought about your value and written it down and figured out the value stack, and then take this 10 and then put it against the 5 categories, then you're going to struggle a little bit more with converting and having sales conversations and articulating your value. Right. And so it's everything for me is an exercise to me. And then I wrote this too. I mean, this is not a value stack, but this is how I help. For example, as a coach, I help loan officers maximize their conversion. So I created a document here too. And yes, I can provide any documents that you can. Let me go ahead and do that now because we got 2 minutes. And so there's 2 ways.
And go ahead, Guy. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's the main way you guys get a hold of me is connectwithkai.com. And it's right there. It's in my name. I try to keep it in my name for when we do that. So in connectwithkai.com, what I'd like to do here's what I would really like to hear. And let me show you, let me go ahead and bring up that link. Okay. So connectwithkai.com, it basically just brings up my link tree. And if you don't have a link tree, you hear Dev and myself talk about it all the time, like get a link tree. So go to connect.
I got a link tree, savageinsights.com. You guys should all have one of these.
So on the upper right, here's what I would like. Okay. I would like everybody to click this little mail icon and send me an email. And I'd love it. I'd love to hear from everybody on this call personally. I'd like you to write on the top, just put mortgage coach. And then in the email, I'd like 4 things from you. Okay. So the first 2 things I would like is tell me the 2 areas that you want to grow in your business in terms of your value stack. Okay. So which part of the value stack do you want to get better at? Okay. Do you want to help realtors with more conversion or to grow or again, recruiting? Do you want to know how to scale? Whatever that is. Tell me the 2 things in the value stack that you want to improve in. And then right below it, tell me the 2 things that you're struggling with that are preventing you from doing that. So you may want to do a lot of cool stuff, but maybe you struggle with personal performance because you just like you can't stay disciplined, or you have ADHD, or maybe you suck at technology, or maybe you have that fear of like being too successful, or you have car reluctance. I would love to get an email from every single person telling me those two things, and I will personally respond to every single one of you and try to give you some tips and try to help you out. And some of you, as long as I don't get too many, I'll schedule a 15-20 minute call and I'll help you guys out. I mean, we're all a big community here, right? I might regret this. I might have to help 125 people, but but I'm here. I'm throwing it out there. So connect with Khai.com, send me an email with those 4 things, and I would love to help everybody.
All right, guys. So you saw it, and notice, so I also got links to his social media. Make sure, best way to say thank you to Khai is to send this, look how strategic this is, schedule a meeting, learn more about things that he does. Some of the free resources that we talked about today, they'll be down below in links. We'll make sure we put a link to your link tree. Khai, you always bring the heat, bro. Thank you so much for sharing so much value. Everyone, give us a little reaction as you leave. Whatever emoji comes to mind, let us know what you thought of today's call. Khai McBride, you're the man. Everyone, hopefully you're following the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel already. Have a great day, everybody. And this is a wrap.
Thanks, guys.